Good morning. Welcome back to God's Golden Acres. I'm Kim, and we're getting ready for our fall garden, and it kind of feels like the weather is going to turn quickly. So we've seen a few leaves falling, which there are some leaves that do fall early in August, and I'm really bad at tree identification, so don't ask me which ones or the type of tree they are. I don't know. So I'm really feeling the pressure to get the fall garden started and then to also prep for next year. And on this little table, I've got cauliflower and broccoli. They might be switched. Pretty sure I'm right though. Out here hardening off. So I put it out here actually a few days ago. They're pretty young, so I always feel like you can go through the hardening off process a little faster when they're young. They sprouted in my bathroom, if you haven't seen that video, while we were gone, and they sprouted very quickly. So they got a little leggy. And then I put them out here on an overcast day. I just left them outside all day. It was extremely overcast and rainy. And then the next day, it was fairly overcast, but lighter. And then we also had a full sun day, but they haven't been in full sun all day. A tree here offering some shade. Here, when it comes up straight up, it looks pretty like full sun. And then I've got this here. So I need to scoot this over so it gets more sun today, and then I'll have to take it to the other side of the porch to harden off more, and then I need to take it like out there to finish off completely. So back in the garden, we've got some pretty major decisions to make. It's crazy full of weeds. It's been such a dry summer that things are struggling. So do we think that the tomatoes will perk up in fall? Some of them might. I might save a couple to see how they do. My purple brandywines just are struggling. And then my yellows are doing okay, but they bloomed late because they didn't start blooming until it got really hot, so they were dropping their blossoms. And then I just don't know if we're going to get a bunch more tomatoes. They're dropping blossoms again, even though it's been in the low 80s. So we'll see there. See, like the weeds are they're fairly well taken over. We've gotten behind. Grass is always going to try to come up no matter what you do. And like this guy, I think this guy's just done. He done for the day. This one had some blooms. You can see that this is what they do right before they drop. And I don't see any more on there. Oh, there's one right here. Oh, there's a little tomato, so we'll leave you. So I'm going to definitely probably pull some plants. There are quite a few green tomatoes on the Sheboygan paste. Honestly, they've been my best producer. So I will definitely save seeds from them. My Abe Lincolns, hopefully those will have self-seeded. I'm not really sure. I might just have to buy another pack. I really did enjoy the Abe Lincoln. And like, we mulched this with straw, and then it became impossible to till because there's so much straw or hay down, which was kind of like not a mistake, but kind of a mistake. Although we do have a beautiful pollinator that I just scared off. So we've got major decisions to make. Not really sure which way we're gonna go. Although I'm thinking we're gonna rip up early, put a cover crop down of radish, daikon radish, I think, and then really break up the soil, add organic matter. It'll die, and then we will till in the spring and till it all in and get it all mixed up, and hopefully that'll actually really improve the garden plot And then we should also be able to really compost next year. Because we have a bunch of cow manure that's sitting in our barn. We really need to pull it out so it's weathered. Because it's been there at least a year now, but I'm just not so sure I trust it yet. Because sometimes when it's got nothing weathered, it just doesn't break down correctly. It just goes more slowly. Because you can take a long time. Looking at sunflower seeds. This guy's really drooping. You would think that they would be pretty close. They are. I might come out and harvest him. It could be a little darker, but he's really drooping. Got a couple just blooming up there. That guy, he looks pretty good. And then this guy's had some birds on him, looks like. I think I'll be harvesting some sunflowers. See if the kids like sunflower seeds. Sad about when you're talking about ripping up a garden to get it all ready for the next year is like this pumpkin plant's just starting. We'll probably do the pumpkin plant. This one's doing better than that one. I don't understand them sometimes. It's like I treat you the same. You're right next to each other. That's a different variety over there. They're struggling too. Get our soil tested. It's always a good idea. We definitely felt pressure to get started with food shortages and expense, and we definitely gotten food off of it, and it's helped. I sold some plants, which helped pay for things in the early spring, so we're not doing bad. You know, my second round, and once again, it got so hot and it's been so dry. Like zucchini, which granted, I'm actually surprised that they keep going. There's another bloom on it, just keeps going. I'm just gonna let it go. You gonna keep feeding me? I trust you. So these were transplants, and those planted from seed, and it was just, I think, too hot, and I just didn't water enough. Did go ahead and put some radishes right here at the end. And this thing, I was going to take it out. I kind of had it up for trellising. I just put it here. So I shouldn't disturb strawberries that keep growing out. That'll need watered tonight. It's got a little bit underneath, but for the runners to get their roots really well done, needs watered again. We got it weeded good. My mother-in-law actually did it, thankfully. It can be hard to weed with children, but we are fighting deer nonstop. So the plan for fall here is you trim the leaves, and then you heavily mulch it, and then they should survive. Bearings are a little bit more sensitive from what I understand. I worked on a strawberry farm, so my husband, he was actually my boss, or my manager, and then the owner was obviously both of our boss. So they never did everbearings. And they're like, Dale actually told me I would hate everbearings. I was like, well, they're the kids' ones. Like, they're going to be separate. And if we ever get a storefront on farm, I might put everbearings in like a green stock at the front and then kind of have those as a free-for-all. Go ahead and grab whatever you want. So, fall plans here. Actually, the rows are weeded fairly well. We're going to go through and till in between the rows, get all the weeds knocked down again. So this patch is doing better. Same thing though. You mulch it really good, and you can see all the runners here. These are actually early glow, and over there's honey eye. Early glow is doing better. Hi, garden cat. If I wear sandals out, she's doing that all the time. So we'll make sure that we try to move these runners over so they'll be in the row so they don't get tilled, and then they make a nice thick strawberry patch. And same over here. We're gonna have to buy so much straw. But we're by low quality. So hopefully we can get a deal. So you can see I went through and weeded last night. This will get tilled. But you can see the strawberries in their row. And then I have to weed over there. Andrew did the other 2 rows. And then had to go in and get some sugar and then put the kids to bed. So we'll do 7. I guess there's 7 rows that you can see have still pretty bad weeds. We'll do all that tonight. Get that finished up. These guys aren't putting out runners as well. It got hot the week we planted them. So they've been kind of struggling anyway. And I'm going to go through and fertilize them tonight with it's a fertilizer. I can't think of the name of it right now. I've showed it on the channel before in a pump bottle. I have a hose bottle. And we're going to go through and we'll spray each of the plants tonight. And hopefully the cooler weather, and we're supposed to get rain this weekend, combined with being watered and fertilized tonight, should make them want to produce runners. Although it could make them also want to produce fruit. Both. Only fruit, I would be annoyed. It is a fruit and vegetable mix. So it is about helping them produce. But strawberries are also known for being kind of conscious of the weather. They put out the June bearings, which is what these are, put out their fruit mostly then. The everbearings do all the time, and actually all strawberries will kind of do all the time. And then they do the second big flush in the fall. I don't know if we're going to get that off our everbearings this year because of the deer. And deer are a problem for gardens normally, but during a drought, sometimes it's even more so because the good tasting vegetation that's being watered is in your garden because you're doing the extra care to water it, which is delightful. So our poor pear tree, actually the good ones look like they're up tall. We might have to try, but it's not producing anything really. You can see that it was improperly fertilized or pollinated, excuse me. So we're not gonna get very many pears this year. We probably won't get any next year because our one big pear tree is too old and we don't have another pear tree. The big one produced 7 blossoms this year. All kids need animals. She is such a sweet cat. Aspen, put her down. Truly believe all kids need animals. There's something about how animals and kids interact that is just like nothing. There's a reason that they put babies and dogs having their own language in cartoons. I just think of Arthur, right? So we probably won't get any pears off this tree next year, which that sucks. Our peach trees are doing okay. We'll only have 1 or 2 next year just because that's what we'll leave. I'm being led away. What do you need? Aspen, what do you need? Okay. I guess she's telling me that I need to cut this little broadcast off and do what she wants to do. She's a very opinionated girl. She probably is finding a mole, buddy. You're probably right. Even though we got distracted by the dog, they pull away again. I wouldn't change it for anything. So thanks for being with us today. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to follow along, hit that subscribe button. And I will be praying for you. God bless.